The Moa Point wastewater treatment plant in Wellington is still discharging screened wastewater 5 days after an equipment failure led to raw sewage entering the sea. Millions of litres of sewage have been passing through a shortfall pipe close to shore, but that has since been diverted through to the long fall pipe we spoke about last week that is much deeper out. While solid items like wipes and sanitary products are now being removed, the wastewater is not yet receiving full biological or ultraviolet treatment. In other words, there's still yuck stuff in there. Pat Dougherty is the CEO of Wellington Water, returning to us this morning. Pat, good morning.
Morning, Ryan.
So, where are we at? How much at the moment is going out into the ocean?
I think we're discharging about 1,300, 1,400 litres a second at the moment. So it's still averaging about that, I think, 70 million cubic metres a day, which is our typical dry weather discharge.
Right, so basically, all the waste from Wellington, Flushing, and Wellington residents Flushing today is still going into the ocean, largely untreated.
Green, but untreated, yes.
Okay. And when do we expect that will stop?
It'll be months, Ryan. Today will be the first day that we can safely get electrical experts into the plant to start assessing the damage. It still looks like about 80% of our plant was submerged or partially submerged. And yeah, it's going to be months before we get that fixed.
Now, just so we're clear, it's not the 5 metres offshore that we're talking about, this pipe. It's 1.7 odd Ks out to sea. Does that mean that it's safe, for months? Will it mean no swimming on the south coast?
So things will be better. The water quality around in the immediate vicinity of Lyell Bay, etc., will improve, but I don't think it's going to be enough to enable swimming. And the crunch is that bypass that we're running the screened effluent through has limited capacity. The main way to bypass the plant is still that short outfall, which is only about 5 metres long. So if we get heavy rain, we're going to have to divert some of the flow back to that short outfall because the screening and bypass to the long outfall won't cope with it.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm from here, Pat. This is such an iconic piece of Wellington. We're just looking at the pictures of it. Obviously, you can't see the detail, thankfully, at the moment. But, to say for months you won't be able to swim there is, the place where planes come and land and take off and they look at that beautiful surfing beach. No-go for surfers for months.
I know it's completely unacceptable. We acknowledge that, but there's, as I said the last time we talked, public health is the priority, and it's public health and the regional council, once they've seen all the monitoring data, and also take into account the bigger picture and what sort of treatment we're doing, we'll decide. But I'd be very surprised if they're going to let us ease any of those access to the water restrictions until the plant is back up and running.
Okay, and Pat, have you spoken to central government about this yet? We asked Nicola Willis on Thursday after you and I spoke. We asked Nicola Willis. She said, look, I expect them to sort of deal with it cost-wise. Any idea yet of potential costs, where money might come from?
No idea about costs. We still don't know the scale of the damage. Today will be the first chance we have to start seeing what can be salvaged and what can't. Look, I've been talking with DIA, but I know the Mayor of Wellington is meeting with the Minister of Local Government and with the Prime Minister. So, those conversations are having a pay grade above me.
Would there be any point, or would you encourage people to use the loo less if they can?
No, I don't. There really isn't much point. If it starts to rain, it won't matter if everybody in Wellington stops showering and going to the toilet. We'd still have to discharge some of the water through the short outfall. So we're pretty good on dry days, but we're going to struggle as soon as it rains.
Should people be fishing around here? Out at, the Cook Strait? How far does it affect?
The thing that our water monitoring has done is shown that the area where we've got the no fishing, no shellfishing, no swimming, and the rahui is pretty accurate. So if you stay outside those lines, then you can fish.
Okay. Just finally, any clearer on the cause? You know, we spoke, there was some remedial work being done. Any clearer on exactly what went wrong?
No, we've managed to get a camera down the first 300 meters of the pipe. My theory was that perhaps there was some demolition or construction debris had found its way into the pipe and was obstructing it, but we didn't find that. And we've also had divers down on the diffuser because the next most likely cause is damage to the diffuser, storm damage, trailing anchor chain, something like that. But that isn't the case either. So we're now starting. So there's still the intermediate, the middle of the pipe, about 1.5 km of it, that will require a sonar inspection. But now that we've ruled out the two most likely parts of that pipe, we're thinking that it's maybe something to do with the dynamics of the way that the discharge enters the outfall pipe. That normally the treatment plant dominates with the bypass kicking something in. We reversed that during the storm, and most of the flows were equally split. And for some reason, that didn't work. We're wondering whether we're getting air in the pipe that's reducing its efficiency. So we're getting some of the best hydraulic modelers in New Zealand to look at that problem for us at the moment.
Okay. All right, Pat, I appreciate you coming on the program, as I did on Thursday. Thanks for being with me again for the update. Pat Dougherty, CEO of Wellington Water.